Let's get a quick take on House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy dropping out of the race for John Boehner's seat as House Speaker. Patricia Calhoun from Westward, what do you think?
Well, I think I'm about the only person whose name hasn't been thrown into this ring yet. Amazing that McCarthy pulled out so quickly on this. He did stumble a little bit recently, but I just learned that you do not have to be a sitting congressman to be the Speaker of the House. So I have one suggestion. While other people are floating Newt Gingrich, how about bringing back Tom Tancredo? That is exactly what the Republicans deserve right now for the mess they've gotten themselves into.
Well, that's one perspective. David Kopel with the Independence Institute in DU Law School. What do you think?
Boehner is more clever than people have given him credit for. This looks like a Frank Underwood level move where he says, I'm going to resign, and then some chaos takes place, and it looks like I'm going to be staying on for a while till everybody sorts things out. Which might be okay. The Republicans are having a conflict, and it's partly a conflict between their donor class, which is in the Boehner camp, and their voter class, which is in a different camp, and it makes it hard to go in one direction. Paul Ryan, of course, is the one guy who could unify that, but if it takes him a while to work that out, in a way, I think that's okay. It's in France. You don't even get to vote for your member of the legislature. You just vote for the party, and then the party gets a certain share of the vote, and so the party has a list of here's our first 300 people, and if we get so many votes, number up everybody 1 through 158 goes to the legislature, the National Assembly. Here you vote for the individual candidate, and I think that's good, and it makes things more chaotic, but in a good way that leads to more responsiveness to the people.
Penfield Tate with QTAC, what would you say?
Well, thankfully, we're not France, and unfortunately, John Boehner is not as smart as Frank Underwood, or we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with. I think this is amazing because, you look at Boehner, you look at McCarthy, you look at all of these folks, and what they fought and scrapped so hard for was to get a majority of the House so they could run things. And now everybody's running away from the challenge of running the House, which I just think is ridiculous. I don't think this serves the country well. I don't think this is good. I know it's captivating TV, and it gives us plenty to talk about here, but this is disastrous. The debt ceiling's got to be addressed by the end of the month. You've got to handle some budget things next month. And we don't know who's going to be in charge of the House. Well, we do know it's going to be John Boehner, because I don't know if they'll ever get this straightened out before these votes occur. I wish he were this calculating and smart and figured out, he'd have people just admit, well, we really miss you now, John, don't go anywhere, stay with us. I don't think that was the plan. And I think this is going to get worse before it gets any better. Well,
this is definitely a serious matter. I seen in a political article earlier today that said, friends don't let friends run for House Speaker. Natasha Gardner with 5280 Magazine, what would you say?
I think that sums it up pretty well. The Republicans are looking for a phoenix to rise from the ashes here, but no one wants to rise to the occasion. What's becoming obvious is we might owe Boehner some combat pay retroactively. I mean, it seems like what he was dealing with was even worse than what we probably were aware of. When I hear these absolute statements that you only vote for you if you never do this, or you have to do this, that type of conversation and rhetoric happening in D.C., I keep on thinking about my mom when I was a teenager saying that I couldn't use killer words, like never. These are words that kill conversation, that just stop it from happening. So short of sending my mom to D.C., which might be a good idea, actually, I think we maybe need to start making it a requirement for politicians to be able to compromise. Like, in addition to age and residency and other things, that we have to make sure that they have the ability to at least entertain the concept of compromising on issues.